Beyond the city, beyond the river, and beyond the mountain, in the greenwood forest lived a little man. Robin was his name, and his residence was a house in the trees. Robin had always lived in the forest. The tree house he lived in had been built long ago by his great-grandfather. It wasn't much, but it was more than enough for a little man living a simple life. On an otherwise quiet autumn night, someone knocked at his door. Odd time for a visit, Robin thought. He had barely opened the door when Ecureuil, a squirrel friend from a tree nearby, rushed in. He looked alarmed. Just enough time to sit around the table, and Robin invited him to share the reasons of such a visit. Stammering his words and acting distressed, Ecureuil explained.
Everything is lost. It's that simple. Our food reserve for the winter has disappeared, and winter is right around the corner. We will never have enough time to rebuild it.
Robin reassured his friend as much as he could, and they both headed out to see what had happened to the food reserve. When they arrived, the loss was obvious. Robin, who knew how to read tracks on the ground, understood that a big bird had stolen the food reserve from Ecureuil and his family. And he only knew one bird big enough to leave such tracks: the eagle from the White Mountain. The mountain was called as such because it was so high that the snow covering it never melted. Robin could not leave a friend in need, and curious to know why an eagle, usually carnivorous, was interested in a reserve of acorns, he decided to climb the White Mountain and find the eagle. Not easily, he convinced Ecureuil to go back home to his family. A quick detour home to get the supplies needed for such an expedition, and Robin was on his way towards the White Mountain. Against the wind, the snow, and on a rough path, the way up the mountain was hard. Robin knew it well, but it had been a long time since he had been so far up. It took a few hours and a lot of effort to get this high, but the eagle was still nowhere to be seen. This made Robin worry. What if he couldn't find it? What if he was wrong entirely? Finally, close to the top, he caught sight of the eagle's nest. Concerned about the danger that such a powerful animal represents, but eager to help his friend Ecureuil and his family, he quietly approached the nest. He noticed that the food reserve was indeed there, but much to his surprise, he also saw 4 eaglets. The eagle, however, remained unseen. It was becoming clear that the reserve was destined for the babies, and Robin could not get it back knowing this. My praise usually won't come to my nest on their own, said a strong voice behind Robin. The eagle, having perceived a trespasser from a distance, had silently glided behind the intruder. Robin was startled, and a little nervous at this turn of events. He promptly explained the reasons for his being here: the food reserve stolen from his friend's family, and the tracks left behind that led him here. Well, well, said the eagle. As you can see, I too have a family to feed, and ever since my injury, I can hardly hunt. Not that we eagles like acorns, but I cannot afford to be picky. Robin knew that the eagle had very little tolerance for his intrusion. He was no doctor, but his hands were dexterous, so he offered the eagle a deal. If I can treat your injury, will you let me leave with the food reserve? Under normal circumstances, the eagle was proud, and would not bother to be helped by a little man. But the perspective of being healed and regaining his hunting ability were 2 strong arguments, and so he considered the offer seriously. After all, men were known for their medicine. In fact, an old friend of his had been rescued by men from the city. He accepted, not without begrudging. The eagle held out his leg, in which a sizable wood splinter was lodged. If you can get it out, you are free, and the acorns are yours. Robin took his first aid kit from his backpack and got to work. Trying to be sparring with the powerful animal, he finally managed to get the splinter out. And then he bandaged the wound. The eagle took a few steps to exercise its leg. Much better, the eagle said with a satisfied tone. Thanks to you, I will now be able to provide for my family. You are free, and you can take the acorns. Although loaded with a giant bag of acorns, coming down the mountain took less time. The wind had quieted, and the snow made it possible to slide down on the bag. Robin rushed to Ekuray's house and delivered the good news along with the copious food reserve. The announcement triggered much joy and excitement in Ekuray's home. Robin was warmly thanked by the whole family. He recounted his adventure around a delicious dinner. Everybody was ready for winter.